Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I hope everyone has had an amazing first day of 2022. I know I've used it slightly different than I would have, but that's okay. How I did start the day though was pretty much exactly 12 hours ago, which is a massive sleep in for me because I normally have been waking up at about 6 o'clock in the morning. So this morning to have woken up at 8:15 without my 5-year-old coming in at 5:30 was quite luxurious, I must say. So we took advantage of the kids being at their grandparents for the night. We had a beautiful dinner out with friends and yeah, lovely sleep in till 8:15. Yep, that's a sleep in. I'm sure there's a few who can relate to that. So when I woke up, I set myself a self-imposed challenge that I would do Instagram and Facebook lives 10 in a row, once a day for the first 10 days of 2022. And who knows, maybe we'll keep it going a little bit longer. But they were definitely something that slipped for me at the end of 2021. And there's been you know what it's like when you have this downtime. I personally have had a really quieter, like relatively speaking, week since Christmas, the last few days. Been able to tick off those tasks that are put aside for when I've got time. And some of those tasks are actually thinking, like reflecting, not ruminating, not that kind of thinking where you're whirring around in your head with those anxious kind of thoughts, but the beautiful reflective thinking, the type of thinking that you get to do when you've got a little bit more time in your hands and a little more peace and quiet to let the creativity of your mind flourish. And it also, what it did for me over that time was highlight the areas that I need to do a little bit of work around. And I've unearthed another one of my limiting beliefs that I'm going to be working on in the new year. So that led me to think of, well, what's my word? Traditionally there's been New Year's resolutions in the past, but I love this tradition of having a word, a theme that kind of guides you for the year. And I came up with the word courage. So particularly with this limiting belief that I came up with, that I realized I had, and you'd be the same if you acknowledge that you had this particular limiting belief. You'd be wanting to do everything you can to be courageous and either face that or move on from it, eliminate it, reframe it. And so that can take some courage. So, the other part of working with this new word of courage is to do more of these lives and to put myself out there a little bit more, connect with the beautiful people who are in my Facebook and Instagram connections. And it has been actually really interesting to see how I kept putting that off and putting that off and putting that off. And that's how we've ended up at 8:15 on a Saturday night that I'm in here finally doing my live. But I tell you, I got a lot of jobs done that I'd been procrastinating on. Isn't that ironic? The ones that I hadn't been doing were the ones that got done when I was procrastinating on not doing my Facebook Live and my Instagram Live. But we're here, and it's a beautiful opportunity for me to say Happy New Year to everyone and ask you, what is your word? What is your theme for 2022? So, as I said, mine is courage. And the first step of that is to finally get in front of the camera, even if, as I said, it's late on a Saturday night to finally do it. But I'm here, I've had the courage to do it. And I am committed to do this every day for the next 10 days at least. And I'd love to hear who's with me, who is willing to make me accountable, keep me accountable for being on here every day for at least 10 days and really have the courage to to step up and put myself in front of the camera and share some updates, some wisdom, some insights, some reflections, some lessons, some learnings that I'd love to. Oh, wonderful! Yours is also courage, in particular in this space. Oh, fantastic! Thank you. Well, let's keep each other accountable on that. I love that. All right. Well, I'm actually going to get myself ready for bed. Despite only having a grand total of probably about one glass of sparkling rosé over the night last night, I didn't get to bed until nearly 2 o'clock. So I'm a little bit tired, but it was fun to spend some time with some beautiful people and have a fun dinner party for New Year's Eve last night. And that's probably another theme that I'd like to bring to 2022 is to really stay connected with people in my life and keep those connections alive and healthy and full of love. So I'll leave it there and I will see you tomorrow, I promise. Who knows what time of day I'll work up the courage to get on here, but you will find me back on here at some point. If there's anything in particular that you'd love me to talk about, I would, pop it in the comments, and I can share something as well that you love that. Thank you. I would, if there's something in particular around stress and anxiety, hypnotherapy, Reiki, mind-body connection coaching, the head, heart, gut connection, any of those things, any of those topics that you'd love me to explore some more, please do let me know and I'll jump in here and make it one of my lives. But until then, Happy New Year once again. Have an amazing rest of your evening and weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.